Assassin's Creed Origins. Yeah. Assassin's Creed is a series that is known for taking players on gripping adventures through different time periods. Seriously, there hasn't been another game that has taken me to so many different cultures, worlds, and atmospheres for me to explore outside of the Assassin's Creed series. And there was once a time where everybody loved the new Assassin's Creed games, but with a new main game released every single year since the first year, and with some of the more recent games being rushed, released filled with bugs and glitches, slowly some consumers began to lose faith in the franchise as they became more fatigued with this series. And sure, some hardcore, dedicated fans stuck it out and were still able to find enjoyment from the more recent games, but this time around, Ubisoft said, you know what, we're taking a year off and we're gonna make the game good. So did it pay off and reward the dedicated fans who stuck around? And will this game bring back disgruntled players? Hey guys, my name is Elijah, and today on Rocket Sloth, we are taking a look at Assassin's Creed Origins. Is the game worth the value? Should you spend $60 on it? Today, we're gonna find out. Let's get into it. Sure, taking a risk and taking an entire year off from new releases may have been a risk to Ubisoft, but immediately upon playing this game, it is clear that that extra time paid off. And you know what? I'm happy about it. This camel is happy about it, but I'm happy about it too. Maybe this is the year of grand open world games, and I'll be honest, I did not expect Assassin's Creed Origins to rank somewhere on the same list with something like Breath of the Wild or Horizon Zero Dawn, but I gotta say, Ubisoft hit the nail on the head when developing an ancient Egypt world. The world is vast, much flatter than other titles, but at the same time there are many more intricacies into the world that makes ancient Egypt the unique title that we needed from the Assassin's Creed franchise for a long time. Seriously, the amount of detail that has gone into just the art direction and the presentation alone in this game is outstanding. This time around, Ubisoft focused this game more on an ARPG type style, and this game takes place in an era that's older than any other game we've seen yet. And without spoiling any key elements of the story, this game follows a character named Bayek, the last of his class of Egyptian special warriors known as Mages. During this time, there's a shift in power and Cleopatra begins her political rise into power, and Bayek gets dragged into a conflict with many deep layers to it. It's what you would expect from an Assassin's Creed game. With that, now you are given free reign to approach quests however you wish, and Assassin's Creed Origin gives players complete freedom as to how or even when they want to complete a quest. What is great about the story is how the game, in a sense, is self-contained enough where it kind of feels like a reboot to the series, and new players can enter the franchise and not be completely lost, but also has just enough lore and references in the later part of the game where older fans will be able to appreciate. The cutscenes are they probably need some work. They're rendered in the game engine, so I understand that they can't look perfect, but sometimes the background blur or just the character models look a little bit weird and kind of jittery, or something will happen in the background that's kind of awkward. Origins also introduces a new combat system, and it looks really good here, but it also seems much more challenging. Whenever and wherever you hit the enemy actually makes an impact as to how much damage you do, and fighting is a lot more interactive than previous games. You can't just spam a button to chain a really cool looking kill. If you want to get the kill, you're gonna have to wait for the right time and execute it, and be sure to dodge and protect yourself too. Players can now increase stats using a typical 3-tiered RPG tree for choosing your upgrades with 3 different classes. There's Warrior, which is great for combat, Seer, which is great for hiding and stealth, and Hunter, which is great for doing stuff with like a bow and arrow. You don't have to choose just one class though, you can upgrade the stuff however you like, and it's pretty free-forming. There is an active day and night cycle that could also dictate how you want to approach a quest. Sometimes you might want to choose to do a quest at night as it'll leave for more cover to hide and sneak around, and at other times you might feel that the commotion of other villagers during the day might make it easier to accomplish the quest. Ubisoft had also developed a new AI system from the ground up just for this game, and it really shows off. The NPCs aren't, how can I put this lightly, as stupid? People in this world have their own motives, their own walking patterns, and their own objectives, or at least that's how the game presents itself. And either way, it really helps make the game feel so alive. It's the same thing with the animals. They have their own intricate AI brains that make it seem realistic. There's also now a new looting system. When you kill an enemy, you'll be able to take items from them and see their rarity. And honestly, when I saw that this game had items with different levels of rarity, it automatically raised a giant red flag for me. Sure enough, the single player game has loot boxes available to buy in the game with in-game currency. And I mean, I wouldn't complain too much if it was only exclusively through in-game currency, and it seems like game devs are trying to advertise the fact that yes, you can receive all the items from the game without having to use crates. And they also advertise that the majority of the way you will be buying crates is with in-game currency. You still have the option to buy time savers, which will get you the currency quicker, and it just rubs me the wrong way. Maybe it's not as bad as I'm putting it, but I don't like how there's like secret microtransactions in single player games nowadays, on a game where I'm expected to pay $60. At the very least, I do have to give Ubisoft credit for allowing all of the things to be featured without spending the extra money, and I can appreciate that. I know they got bills to pay, but it's this overall trend in the industry that's more bothering me than Assassin's Creed specifically. I'm not going to let this affect whether or not you should buy this game, but it's just a little thing that you should know on the side before any of us spend money on this game. On top of some of the improvements Origins has made, there have also been quite a few improvements to the UI system. Similar to maybe something you would see in Skyrim, Origins replaces the mini-map for a simple compass that leads the way, and quests can be started and stopped whenever the player feels like. And that is a really nice addition. But all actions, failed assassinations, commotions, etc. will have some sort of impact to the world or the quest you are on. Sometimes coming back to a failed quest might be a bit harder as they are now aware that someone tried and failed to assassinate them. I mean, it kind of makes sense. If someone tried and failed to assassinate me, I'd maybe be a little bit concerned myself, thank you very much. The movement system is pretty tight in this game too, being able to fluidly move from one platform to the other. Climbing up and jumping down seems as good as ever. The only thing is, with the focus being on Egypt, there aren't a lot of buildings to jump and climb on outside of pyramids and a couple of tall buildings. I really did enjoy sitting above the city in other games, and while I'm going to miss that, I probably will just get distracted by something in the distance, and with how alive this world feels, I'll let it pass. Honestly, this is just only me brushing the surface of this game too. There are so many different ways to approach enemies, travel the land, explore areas, and this game 100% brings the feeling of a rich single player game that you can get your money's worth out of. Sure, sometimes the quests might be something like go here and do this, and it might get repetitive after a while, whatever, but like, what can you expect from this type of game? At the very least, the game has such a rich environment that you don't feel like you're just doing chores. You can probably play through this game in about 18 hours if you take your time, but you wouldn't be doing the game justice if you didn't do the abundance of side quests. Explore the world, maybe try out the arena, which has you battle wave after wave of enemy, and that's actually pretty great for some post-game stuff, so you have an extra challenge you can do, and you can use your new looted weapons to fight there. Now, I haven't played every single Assassin's Creed game before. I've played Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, Unity, Black Flag, and Brotherhood, and this game right here is by far probably a perfect culmination from everything that we liked from those games. It sort of feels like Ubisoft listened to the fans' feedback and decided to maybe let that shape the game and how it comes out. This game gets a buy if you have played previous Assassin's Creed games and you found enjoyment in them. It's a pass if you don't like Assassin's Creed games, period, because this is still Assassin's Creed game at core. So that's just how it is. If you've never played an Assassin's Creed game though, I think this is a great game to come into. I think this game will get you up to date with the series more so than if you try to jump in like Assassin's Creed 4 or something random in the series. I have a question for you guys. What are your opinions on single player games that have some sort of microtransaction like loot boxes? We saw games like Shadow of War that did the same exact thing. Is this something that upsets you? Do you feel like it's unnecessary? It rubs me the wrong way, but I'd be curious to see what you guys think. Are you in defense for it? Let us know what you think in the comment section down below. Check out our other reviews we did on the games that came out last week, and we are going to be doing more reviews later this week, so be sure to subscribe to Rocket Sloth for more gaming discussion. I think that's what we do here. And reviews. I'll see you guys next time.